there. Welcome to the Career Kickstart Show. Today's episode, I'm going to talk about how networking doesn't have to be awkward, stressful, or make you feel like a used car salesman. Networking is a concept that so many people struggle with when they're job hunting. For me, it brings to mind standing awkwardly at a conference with the lanyard around your neck, staring at clumps of people, waiting for the next workshop to begin. And best case scenario is that I'm eating snacks and hopefully I don't have chocolate on my face. I used to think that I was bad at networking because I was an introvert by nature. This is a common issue with a lot of introverts. Spoiler for the rest of the episodes, introverts can network with the best of them. In fact, I would make the bold claim that we can be better at it than some extroverts. Now, let's start this story off. I'm one of those people who many assume are shy when they first meet me, especially when I was younger. It took becoming a salesperson at Radio Shack for me to learn how to break out of my shell and talk to strangers. I had to do that for the money and because my manager forced me to. My mom likes to joke that when I was a kid, that all she had to do was give me a book and I would be in the same spot that she left me in hours later. However, as I've grown in my career, I realized that networking can be as simple as actually just making friends. This was made more clear to me when I was sitting with some friends, new and old, on a boat ride organized by a digital nomad group in Lisbon. The topic of networking actually came up. One person was making an example using a marketer whom everybody agreed was really nice, but they had trouble actually connecting with human because everybody had the feeling that it was always business with this marketing woman. They had a feeling that she didn't actually want to connect with them beyond the idea that they would be a good addition to her network. This marketer was doing all the things that the expert agreed that you should be doing when networking, from having business cards to asking what she could do for them. However, her efforts weren't landing right because the soul and the genuine desire for, friendship, it just wasn't there. That made me realize that being too business oriented when you are meeting new people can actually hurt your chances at networking. Most people don't want to feel like they're being sold to. Humans are all different, unique little snowflakes that we all are, but we're all looking for genuine connections. If you approach networking with the idea that you're just trying to make a human-to-human connection, then not only is it easier to meet people, they will actually be comfortable with you. Now, how can you make networking more fun and effective? Think about networking like a kid on the schoolyard. When you were a kid, you weren't thinking about how someone can be useful to your agenda. You were just looking for a buddy to pal around with. Reframe networking as making friends. It will be more fun for you and whomever you're hanging out with. Another thing to think about is that you should be a good listener. They have done studies that being a good listener is a trait that people prize in their friends. Not only is listening prized, but interestingly enough, it makes you seem more fascinating and compelling. If you are someone who might not be quick with the jokes or slow to warm up to people, don't worry. Just by listening, maybe asking some questions, you are building a better connection and even a touch of mystique. This is a skill that introverts can excel at, by the way. My other tip for just kind of having a little bit more fun with networking is think outside the box. If you are a UX designer, for example, then don't just go to networking events for UXers. Go to the events where they need UX designers. Taking this a step further, don't just go to standard networking events for your field. One of my clients in San Francisco, she really likes art. She likes wellness and everything like that. So she decided to have a meetup group where it's just like an art walk. They just walk around talking about art and UX and looking at different cool things in San Francisco. And it's not a big group, it's a small group. However, she's been able to actually make good connections, have like deeper conversations with people in her field than she would have done otherwise. You want to think about where you actually shine. And in any case, you want to increase your odds of meeting new people in your field by going to events that attract them. But that doesn't mean that you need to go to just conferences. You can check out co-working spaces, art walks, geeks who drink, board game nights organized by people in your industry. I mean, the list goes on and on. Think about the type of events that you already enjoy, where you will be comfortable, and have fun. Try to go to those. Now, for a lot of people, there are a couple of different ways that you can think about networking. I mean, networking, you can think about it like visibility, like how you just get to know people. And there's a lot of ways that you can get to know people and people can get to know you. When I have worked with clients on visibility building, networking, and stuff like that, there's about 4, I guess, archetypes that I try to see where they fit the best in. The first one is the content creator. So think Medium blogs, podcasts, thoughtful LinkedIn posts, Instagram, what have you. Those people who are doing the content, that content is what's reaching out to people. That content is what inviting people to engage in a dialogue with you. So being a content creator is a good choice for people who might be in an area where maybe they can't actually find any events. You know, that can be something where if you, especially for introverts or the very creative or the folks who have a lot to say or a lot of dialogues that they want to start, working on content is a great way to start that conversation, meet people, have them know you, and it also helps build your portfolio as well. So there's a lot of benefits to being a content creator. The next sort of visibility archetype, networking archetype, is the connector. So this person is an uber networker. They like networking at conferences, events. And not only that, they like to bring people together. The connector is the person where if you say, oh, I need this and this, and they're like, oh man, I already know a guy. So if you are already naturally a connector, this is your chance to lean in on that, because when you are connecting people, you are bringing together these different networks, but it's coming through you. So that's a way for you to not just, help a friend out, but that's also a way for you to be known as that person who knows people. So that's really good for your visibility. That's good for your networking. That's just a good thing to have in general. Like I have some friends, like my buddy Marisa, who was a guest host at the beginning of this season. She's an uber connector. Like I say, oh, I need to, talk to somebody who, knows how to do, Instagram marketing, blah, blah, blah. And she'll already be like, oh, here's my list of people. And not only that, she'll also think about the ones that I will just enjoy working with. Being a connector is really powerful. So if you're someone who might not want to, organize things, maybe not make, content, being a connector is a good way to get known, to meet new people, because when you're that connector, people naturally want to connect you to other folks as well. The next archetype in this visibility networking sort of space is the organizer. Now, the organizer, as you might imagine, they organize talks, meetups, dinner parties, casual chats. The benefit of being an organizer is that you are seen instantly as a leader. One of my clients in Dubai, context for Dubai when it comes to tech is that it's hard for locals who are new to the field to really break in, because so often people want to import foreign senior techies, senior managers, and that type of person into Dubai. So it's really hard for a newbie to stand out and to get the time of day. So what this client did was he started the first UX meetup group in Dubai, and that one gave him access to reaching out to some of the top professionals in the area, inviting them to talk at his meetup events. that also helped him develop a group of juniors and mid-levels who came to his meetup. So as they rose in their field, they remembered him. And that also gave him instant legitimacy because he was the person who was having pictures taken with these senior professionals. He was also benefiting by learning from the lectures that he was setting up. So when you're the organizer, that is something where even if you're not creating content, maybe you're not doing a whole lot of connecting, you are still able to take your natural instinct for logistics and event planning, and you can make yourself, really like build a very powerful network. And keep in mind, you don't need to organize a full-on meetup group, but with a co-working as a venue. You can have dinner parties, you can have coffee chats. You can start out small, but the nice thing is that if you make the space, when you let people know, a lot of times they will show up. And just by being there, facilitating the conversation, organizing it all, that makes it so that people can't help but want to network with you as well. Now, for some of you guys, you might have listened to the last 3 sort of visibility networking archetypes and been like, oh man, that sounds like a lot of work, or maybe you're not a content creator, maybe you're not, a connector just yet. Maybe even with organizing, you're like, I'm too new to this field to maybe do that. However, the thing is that you can be a participant, an active participant, someone who joins the discussions, who goes to the meetups, who signs up for the hackathons, who comments on the blogs. That is just important. The thing about being a participant is that you don't need to be passive. Go there, shake hands with the organizers, be available to be connected, share the content, and that increases your visibility. That's a form of networking that gets you out there. Those 4 archetypes, the content creator, the connector, the organizer, and the participant, those are all key ways that you can figure out, see which one you can lean into that makes the most sense. Some of us are one, most of us are a combination of a few of them. Don't hesitate to lean into what is already your strength. When it comes to networking, when it comes to visibility, lean into that, because that's how you're going to shine. There are a million more ways to grow your network, to be visible, but the point is that you want to build a squad of well-wishers, mentors, and friends who you can trade favors with, project referrals, job leads, etc. And don't forget that serendipity can happen. One of the most impactful job referrals that I've ever had came from a woman that I met in a Zumba class. Networking is one of the most effective ways to find a job, to find new clients. Most people find work through other people. They have done studies that up to 60% of people find work through referrals anyway. Networking is how you hack the hidden job market and find positions, especially junior ones, that might not appear on any job board. Networking is a skill that you can build, especially when you let it be fun. Never forget, networking is just making new friends, finding new like minds, building a squad, that you feel like, feels like these are my peeps, this is my tribe. And that can be one of the most satisfying things. And not only can it be fun, can it be effective, it's how you build a recession-proof career. It's how you feel connected to an industry. That synergy, between professionals and creatives, that is what can drive innovation. So don't be put off by the articles that say that you need a blazer and some business cards. Do networking your way, and that's going to be how you find your squad. Well, I hope you enjoyed this episode on networking. As always, I'm your host, Sami Gardner, career specialist, and this is the Career Kickstart Show. Bye. Change your career, change your life at CareerKickstartAcademy.com.